Miracles Abuaje as a Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia campaign team no ba be e dey sema to tell say Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia wa bon ho body pa ne campaign a oye and say the apra wo bon wa Bobby Bripama to say don so achi abon so ntunu de kwan bia so papa e betumi a flag road the Madi Patriotic Party, no doubt about that. And so say Miracles Abuaje so that to the input in some of be to so e kafa Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia and so
that's over 40 days. And the Vice President has basically visited 5 regions: Greater Accra, Shanti region, Western region, Central region, and Eastern region.
Okay.
And these 5 regions are made up of 154 constituencies, with a total of a little over 128,000 delegates. So we are making very, very big progress in terms of reaching out to the people and selling the message of the Vice President. But it's been a very inspirational one, especially because of the way the party people have received the Vice President.
Now, you're focusing on 128,000, but the elections you have on Saturday has less than 1,000 people voting. So why shouldn't that be the focus of the campaign?
The campaign has been focused on both legs, especially because you know the special delegates elections happens on August 26th.
Yeah.
Then you have November 4th.
Yeah.
Don't forget, the August 26th delegates are barely 1,000. And the larger number is on November 4th. So if you start your campaign somewhere in June, you can't spend all the 3 months or 2 months on special delegates. So you balance it. So you enter the region, you engage your special delegates, then you engage your general delegates as it were for November 4th. So that's how it's been. What we've done is that the Vice President put some brakes on the constituency-based elections last week Sunday after the Eastern Regional Tour. You know, what he did is to visit the constituencies on his campaign. He didn't put them together. He didn't sit somewhere and invite them. So it's been a very rigorous, quite detailed engagement. So last week Sunday, he put some brakes on that, and then he started focusing on the 1,000 delegates. Even that, as we speak, he's done 14 regions so far. It's left with 2 regions. Those 2 regions will be cleared, God willing, tomorrow. So far, the outstanding region is Bono and Ashanti region. He's just wrapping up with Savannah region this evening. And so on his way back, he will touch base with Bono region, Ashanti region. Then he will come back to Accra. Then he would have touched base with all the 1,000 special delegates across the country.
I mean, we'll come to this because there's been accusations of using state resources in campaigning. Yes, we know he was in the north to commission the Tamale airport. But while there too, he's been, he's in the Savannah region now, he's campaigning.
Yeah.
How do you respond to, the comments, the accusations of the Vice President using state resources for his personal campaign?
I think it's a complete falsehood. As a matter of fact, if you look at how the manner in which a Vice President has carried himself throughout the campaign period, you realize that he has shown the way. He's introduced novelties that nobody has done so far in our body politics since probably the 4th democracy, the Republican democracy that we are enjoying now. I mean, he started off his campaign using a campaign bus. And the idea is to ensure that the long convoy that comes with the movement of the Vice President is separated from the campaign of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia as a flag bearer. And that, for me, I think is very commendable. Shockingly, all the 5 regions were visited. All the 154 constituencies were visited. The Vice President visited them with the bus. All of us are in the bus. He sits in the bus with us. We get down together. We engage the people together. But, of course, in his campaigning, he's still doing his official duties as a Vice President. If he has to go execute his official duty as a Vice President, he will do it. But it has not, under any circumstance, conflicted with this campaigning for flag bearership. And that's a matter of fact. If he has to pause and go do an official assignment, he would pause. All of us will remain wherever we are. We still ride with the bus. Then he will go get his job done. Then he will come back to join the campaign. And it's been remarkable. That is how the Vice President...
So while he's pausing, moving for his official assignment and coming back, you are with the bus, what does he use?
He's going to perform an official duty as a Vice President.
He's going to come back and campaign too?
Yeah, but he's going to perform his official duty as the Vice President. So how he moves as a Vice President will be triggered at that point. I mean, the Vice President, when he closes from where, goes home, doesn't he? Mm-hmm. every day. When he closes from where he goes home. When the vice president has a family funeral, he will go with the vice presidential convoy, wouldn't he? So there's a fine line. There's a fine line. But the most important thing is that he has shown the way. And he has shown evidence that he's running this campaign on his own resources and not that of the state. We cannot, under any circumstance, fault Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. What he deserves is commendation, and for others to begin to at least follow the steps that he's actually started, and then we can improve from there.
Others are using their own resources, aren't they?
How do you determine own resources? How do you determine own resources? If you believe others are using their own resources, why then do you question the vice presidency?
Because he's in government.
There are several people who are also running, who also holds other government positions. Some are board chairmen, some just left office. There are some who are moving with ministers of state and members of parliament and all of that. So I think that what is important here is that, forget about this. The vice president has clearly shown. Do you question that? Isn't that the case that we have visited 154 constituencies with the vice president's campaign bus? We have gone all the way to the western region, if you know Wasa Menfi. We've gone there. We've gone all the way to Abra Asebu, Kwamankese. We've gone all the way to Chifo and all of that. And we are back with the same bus. We've gone to Kadi. We've gone to Akwetia. This is evidence of the vice president running a campaign with his own resources. Well,
I mean, these are areas I know. I'm from the West.
Yeah, and so you can imagine.
I am Wasa, so I know
exactly, so you can imagine.
But let's come to something. So those people, I mean, you've talked about people, having just left office recently. Yes, they've left office. So
I'm not interested.
Yes.
That's why I'm saying that the vice president is running the campaign with his own resources, and the evidence abound. You can interrogate the others when they also come. But the key thing is that for the first time in the history of this country, we have a certain vice president. He is not enjoined by any law, to ignore his protocol. It was actually a fight between the vice president and the state protocol for them to even agree on this innovation, because they feel responsible for him and they believe that they have to put in place all the logistics and structures to move him as a vice president. And you can imagine there's a very fine line in separating the vice president of the Republic of Ghana and Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia as a flag bearer. And so if he's been able to push himself to this point, where we have done 154 constituencies on the campaign's own resources, with the evidence of moving around the bus, your reporters are always with us. You can ask them. The reporters also ride with the bus, behind the bus. Other team members who do not find space in the bus are seated in buses, smaller buses. And for me, that is where I think the commendation should go. And then we encourage a lot more people in the future to, otherwise the vice president should move with whatever vice presidential protocols that there are. Don't we have presidents running campaigns? Yeah. Haven't we had presidents running campaigns? How do they run it? And all of that. But at least for the first time, we have a vice president who has shown the way. And it's evident. There is no way you can put a twist to it. The fact of the matter is that the vice president has done 5 regions, 154 constituencies, and each of these constituencies, he moves in a bus.
How are people, what's been his message to them? How are they receiving it?
It's been an amazing journey so far. Listen, sometimes when I have a dream and I find you in my dream, even though I see you in the dream.
Welcome to our YouTube channel. You
didn't have the same dream. And so it becomes difficult for me to tell you exactly what transpired. You may believe me or you may be skeptical. So sometimes when you are stepping out to especially meet large numbers like this to tell them about the dreams you are having and the vision you have butterflies. But once you get down there and you start engaging these people and they tell you that, listen, we've also been dreaming about this way before you started dreaming. That since 2012, since 2010, we've always seen you as the next leader of this party. And so we've been ready for you. And we believe that if you're also ready and you've come to us, then we are ready to rally behind you to move the MPP into the future. The vice president has a 2-leg message to the people. There is, of course, the party internal issues that qualifies you to lead the party. It's a privilege for you to be a flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party. There are several members of this party, of several leaders of this party who are capable to lead the party. So it's a privilege if the people decide that you are the one they would make the leader of this party. But you need to show them that you qualify.